So combined segments in Google Ads allow you to reach users who are in multiple segments rather than targeting each audience segment separately. So an example, I can combine the homeowners segment with the air conditioners in market segment. So I can try to reach people who want to replace their air conditioner who also own their home. You can choose people who must be in 5 segments, so you can do 5 different segments at a time. You could also just do 2 segments, so you can choose some of these different segments as you're trying to reach the right audience. These are available for search, display, and video campaigns. So we're going to open up my Google Ads account, and I'm in the process of creating a new display campaign, and we're in targeting, and we're in our audience segments for targeting. So when you come to targeting, you're going to see audience segments. You want to click on it to target some of these different segments here. Now keep in mind, let's just say we go to who they are, we go to parental status, we see parents of infants. Okay, so we're targeting parents of infants, we come back, we want to target an affinity audience. So we come over here, we go to, let's say home and garden, and let's just say do-it-yourselfers. So in this setup, we would be targeting parents of infants and we would be targeting do-it-yourselfers. So we're not targeting people who are in both of these segments. We're targeting each of these segments separately in our ad group. So if you want to combine segments, what you can do is remove this targeting, come back, go to browse, and go to your combined audience segments. So we'll click on it, and what we can do is create a new combined audience. So we can name our segment up at the top here, but let's just go through a few different examples that we can try to target. Let's say I want to add segments and I want to reach, so let's say we're promoting some type of romantic vacation getaway at the beach. So let's say we come here to detailed demographics, and what we're doing is we want to come to marital status, and what we can do is people in a relationship or people who are married. So we want to reach people who are in a relationship or married, and then we want to narrow our segment. So we're going to click narrow our segment, and now we can enter another segment here. So let's come over here to browse. Let's go to affinity audiences. Let's come down to travel. Let's say we want to click on travel buffs here, and we want to reach beach-bound travelers. So we want to reach beach-bound travelers. So right now, the way our combined segment looks is we want to target people who are either in a relationship or married and people who are beach-bound travelers. So we're using an affinity segment, which is much more broad. So these are people that might take 1-2 beach vacations a year. So people who have expressed interest in going to the beach. So let's narrow this a little bit further. So we're going to narrow our segment, and let's just say, for example, let's search. So let's search beach vacation. So there's a bunch of different in-market segments here. We searched beach vacation, trips to the Caribbean, trips by destination, trips to Florida. So let's just say, for example, we have a Florida beach. We are working on behalf of, let's just say, Miami Beach. Okay, so we're working on behalf of Miami Beach. So people who are in the market for a trip to Florida. So what we're saying right now with our segment that we've created is people who are in a relationship or married, who are beach-bound travelers, and they're also actively looking up trips to Florida. Now we can narrow this further. So let's just say we want to narrow our segment further, and let's just search romantic travel. Let's see what comes up. So vacation packages, they have trips by destination, vacation rentals. So they have a bunch of different options here. Let's just say, let's search Miami. So since we were talking about Miami, let's narrow this again. Let's say Miami. Okay, so in market segments, trips to Miami. So this would be a very, very targeted combined audience where we're reaching people who are in a relationship or married, and they're beach-bound travelers, and they're looking up a trip to Florida, and they're looking up a trip to Miami. So we're saying these people are actively researching trips to Miami, and they meet all of the requirements that we want them to take advantage of our romantic vacation package at whatever hotel we're working on behalf of, or if we're working on behalf of Miami in general, depending on what we're promoting. We can create this audience. So let's just come up here and name the segment. So we'll say romantic trip to Miami. Okay, so we'll scroll down and we will create this audience. And now what we can do is we can target this combined segment with our advertisements. So it's saying our weekly available impressions for this combined segment is 24 million. So it's not a massive audience, but this should be large enough for us to at least test as we start creating our campaign. Now, what you could do if you're creating a combined segment like this one is you can also see our weekly available impressions, 100K to 500K. To me, that's more than enough. But if we click on edit, what you could also do is if you're having trouble spending your daily budget and reaching enough people, is you can put both of these in the same combined segment. So trips to Florida, trips to Miami. And you would say beach-bound travelers and in a relationship. So some different ways to look at combined audience segments, but you can combine any audience segment you want. And what we can do is exclude segments as well. So all you need to do is just come in here. You can look at the list of options from Browse. You can incorporate your data. So you can say somebody who has been to your website, who's also in the market for something. You can say somebody with a life event where they're moving soon, and we'll narrow our segment again. And let's just search moving again. So they have life events moving. Let's keep scrolling down. In market segments, moving and relocation. So we can try to target people who are moving soon and actively looking up moving and relocation services. Now, let's just say we run a cleaning service. We can say home cleaning services. So people who are moving, we can come down here, home cleaning services. So we can promote people who are moving soon, who are actively looking up home cleaning services, promote our move out cleaning service, and promote our move in cleaning service, because if they're moving in the same market, you may be able to take advantage of both. So these are some different ways to combine segments. I do like to incorporate in-market segments. I don't generally use affinity audiences that often with some of these different combined segments, but I do like to use some detailed demographics, life events at times, in-market segments. You can also incorporate your similar segments as well. And you can also create custom segments. So if you have your own custom segments that you've created, for example, I have this one here for recipes. So I can say, okay, let's use my custom segment for recipes. And let's say, narrow our segment further. And let's come to browse. Let's go to in-market. Okay, so for this example, let's just say I'm using recipes, a custom segment, and people are actively searching for toddler recipes, kids recipes, best foods for toddlers, best food for kids. So we're trying to reach people who are actively researching foods for their children. So what we can do is we can narrow our segment. We can come over here to browse. Let's go to detailed demographics, parental status, parents, and let's say parents of toddlers and parents of preschoolers. So anywhere from 1 to 5 years old, we want to target that segment. So people who are actively searching those recipes, people who are in these segments, parents of toddlers, parents of preschoolers. Let's narrow it one more time, and let's say cooking. So we're just going to search cooking here. And what you're going to get is a bunch of different affinity segments. And as we scroll down, so there we go, in-market segments, toddler meals. So if we just scroll over here, it's going to see people interested in purchasing solid baby food and snacks. So I can take this in-market segment. We can do people who are parents of toddlers and preschoolers, people who are actively searching for meals for their toddlers, and send them whatever it is that we're trying to promote. Maybe it's some type of toddler cookbook. Maybe it's a huge list of different recipes that people can browse through. Maybe it's some type of video course where people can see all of these different toddler meals they can create for their kids. So whatever it is that we're trying to promote, we can use some of these different combined segments to make sure we're reaching the right people. So if you have any questions about combined segments, please leave them in the comment section. Once you create your combined segments, you can select them, click on done, and then target them in your advertisements. Thanks for watching my video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.